the internal nurture, the internal dynamic with oneself. This is all about self-worth, dignity, integrity, self-love. That's really important. Very, very, very important to have and to know. Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoatsecrets. Hi, Capricorn. I am Kristen, and I am a healer. In this video, you are going to get a full rundown of the Taurus new moon and its energy and how it affects you and your Capricorn placements. I begin with the astrology and I end with a card reading. If at any point in this video you feel like you resonate with me and would like to become a client of mine, you can join the client circle. That link can be found here and also in the bio. We welcome you. And if you would like to follow along in the future when it comes to moon transits, you can find these calendars made specifically by me. And they give you pretty much the information that you need in terms of the houses and how they affect you and your Capricorn placements. Last but not least, I am a global citizen and I love connecting with all of you on a worldly and global level. So if you have not already, drop where you're listening from in the comments and we can all connect on a worldly and global level. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. So, hi Capricorn. It is the Taurus new moon, which is exciting. This is a lot of fifth house activation for you guys because we're looking at Taurus is in the sun, Taurus is in Jupiter, it's in Uranus, it is in now also in the moon. And so this is a lot of, as I keep saying, fifth house for you. And the fifth house is the house that's represented usually by Leo. So we're looking at creative energy, sensual energy, sexual energy, pleasures, your finances. But again, your finances tied to things like wealth and luxury, the finer things in life. So this is what this is all about in terms of this time period. And you're getting a great renewal in this energy. And it's nice because as we see with the first week of May, and how things are kind of panning out, you guys are in deep need for pleasure and you deserve it probably more than anyone, right? So let's go into, and I also didn't mention that Taurus is in Venus. I don't think I mentioned that. That's probably the most important one, is that Taurus is sitting in Venus. And this is also big for manifestation. But let's kind of break this down. Let's go into the layers of it. So one of the biggest things that you're going to be finding yourself doing during this activation, or the renewal that you're going to find when it comes to this activation, is a lot of passion. Your passionate energies are getting a new beginning, basically. It's kind of like this, you've been feeling maybe a little bit ambitious because of the way that Aries kind of was impacting things, and Taurus has you not necessarily wanting to slow down, even though for other members of the zodiac, you can find them wanting to kind of slow down a little bit. Whereas for you, it's more like you're not going to be running so fast. It's more like, how can you do more with less? That's the biggest focus for you. How can you have more, do more, create more with less? And this is great because it's all about manifestation activation. And this month in specific is you finally being able to see that, look at that, know the value of wealth, because wealth clarity has been the biggest thing for you because of the Aquarius Pluto. And with the Aquarius Pluto being in retrograde during this time, it's asking you to really look at your self-worth, look at your second house energy, look into the little fine details and say, what do I deserve? Who am I? And what life do I deserve to live? And putting in all the meticulous steps or movements in order to make that come into fruition. If you have to revisit old memories, revisit times when you were once jaded or betrayed or hurt, when people have taken from you, when they've stolen from you, when you were in destitution, or things where the ground was ripped from underneath your feet, all of the things that is the opposite of Taurian energy, right? Which is scarcity. Relooking, or I guess looking back at those things and revisiting them and kind of frustrating yourself, kind of feeling like the bull with the horns, getting angry about some of the things that took place in the past, but that anger kind of makes it so that you put your horns on full degree and headbutt anything that has ever made you feel that way, and know how to make the progressive steps to ensure that you never get put in that position again. And that's what's going on in terms of this activation. Now, I know that sounds quite extreme, but that is the shadow. On the lighter side, it's more just, pleasures and good energy, sensual energy, connecting romantically, connecting with family and friends, but I would say mostly on the romantic level, dating, beautifying the self and different things like that. So it's kind of like this back and forth where you are pouring into yourself. The other side of you is dealing with the frustration of the times in which you were not able to do what it is that you can do now. But yeah, so this renewal in your passions and converting them into progressive movements. So wanting to really live a life that is reflective of your internal dialogue, one with less resistance, that moves more seamlessly and more pleasurably. So these are things that are going to be on your mind in terms of this renewal, kind of saying to yourself, I don't have to do this. It doesn't have to be this hard. I don't have to work this hard. Or how do you drop a relationship that is not serving you, right? Or if you're chasing someone, how do you stop? If you have been dealing with frustrations when it comes to work and feeling like you're not getting enough, or you're working too hard for something, it's you finally kind of getting this like smack in the face that says you deserve better. And how is it that you can do that? Again, hobbies, looking at your hobbies and how they are kind of showing themselves and shining quite brightly in terms of you being able to make a lot of money off of your hobbies, or things that feel like so natural to you that you don't take them seriously, are actually ways in which you can find a lot of financial gain. And this is the kind of the bright light that hits you during this time. You're feeding your soul through your work as well, and this kind of goes back into the perspective. I guess it's confirmation, right? But this kind of goes back in the perspective of you being able to understand that the law of least resistance, and the law of least resistance is actually a great perspective during this. I think the law of least resistance is actually exactly what it is that you're going through. Least resistance, least effort. The law of least effort, as well, as what many people call it, but where you're understanding that less is more, and that the things that give you the most pleasure, the things that feel the most seamless to you, are actually where you'll get the most return. And this is the beginning of a wonderful reality for you, where you're really understanding wealth, stepping out of looking at money or pentacles and understanding wealth. What does it mean to live a wealthy existence, a wealthy lifestyle, where yes, you want to focus on making more money. So you guys are also looking at different ways that you can expand your streams of income, but you're doing so through the lens of how this expansion is not something that feels like you're lugging 6 boulders of a mountain, but actually it's like you're swimming, right? The activation of the SeaGoat is when you understand how to put pleasure as a priority. And that's the biggest thing that comes in terms of the renewal moving through your mind that you will practicalize during the Sagittarius full moon at the end of the month. It's a great time to go on a date. Like I said, you're feeling very comfortable in love. So if you do find yourself connecting with someone, for those of you who are in long-term relationships, things are feeling really good and cozy. The love that you're making is feeling like, nice and definitely memorable, but the kind of thing where it's like looking at each other through fresh eyes, right? That feeling of the candles and the romance and the wine, and life kind of just feeling really good and wanting to express that with each other. If you're going on dates and you're meeting new people or solidifying relationships that are brand new, it's kind of like, wow, I like you. You feel like home to me, right? And this being a priority for you in order to create the long-term connections that you guys have been looking for. And that feels really good. Like I said, burst out the wine for those of you that drink it. A big burst in your creative energy as well. So this is big in terms of helping you progress financially. Again, the awareness of your natural talents and the ways in which these natural abilities can make it so that you're creating more financially and progressively. So knowing how to restore and replenish yourself through amplifying or spending your energy on this kind of work. So again, the things that bring you pleasure, being able to create more finances for you, heals a lot of the wounds tied to your own financial perspectives, especially during the Capricorn Pluto, where you're being tested so much financially, or the Aquarius Saturn that found you looking at scarcity. So it's being able to heal some of these baggage situations that you dealt with in the workplace, where you might have been abused or financially run down, or divorces that put you in financial ruin, or business partners that did not serve well. So the way in which you pour into this energy, which is giving more to what brings you pleasure, is how you heal those traumas. Like I said, your sensuality is at full force, especially in sexual matters, and you're taking a bit of a feminine, softer approach. And this goes to both the masculine and feminine. You know, you guys are kind of looking at things where you're saying to yourself that you are seeing yourself in a better light. So this kind of beauty that you're putting within yourself, and how you want to connect that to another person, wanting your sensual life to feel more long-lasting and deeper in that sense, wanting to do more of a soul merger. Definitely reveling in your physical beauty, like I said, so you guys are seeing yourself in a new light and understanding how attractive you really are, but in a way that is less of the fire that could have taken place during Aries season, where for some of you during April, it could have been even down to the frustrations of realizing that maybe you were made fun of for something when you were young, but actually it's something that makes you very beautiful. And rediscovering your body was something that you guys were doing in April, but from a space kind of childhood trauma. So again, it could be like a birthmark, or your natural features, or something along those lines, and having to really look at them and say to yourself what it is that you wanted or didn't want. Do you want to hold on to this, or do you actually want to change this, your physical features? And this was something that you were thinking about throughout April, and then we have May, where it's a renewal in that energy. So it could be changing things like, again, your hair, or your body, or learning to love these things more, really seeing value in them, and kind of like just reveling in that energy. You definitely feel healed within yourself, and you're releasing your old identity. You know that you have gone through a big healing process, and it shows. You feel it in your skin.
Sorry, but the microphone kind of, I don't know. But I will wrap up with saying that your old self is over, basically. And this new moon kind of brings that into you, for you to really see and understand that you're not the same person that you used to be. And it can cause a lot of emotional frustrations, where you're letting in more pleasure, and you're experiencing the things that you deserve, and you're being treated the way that you have truly always deserved to be treated. It can put you in the back of your head of remembering times that you were not, and the frustrations tied to that. For some of you, you're not getting exactly what it is that you want yet during the new moon transit, but it's an awareness of what it is that you deserve, and it can bring about some frustrations tied to that as well. But let in all the beautiful things. The renewal in your energy is making it so that you understand wealth in all areas of your life, and not defining yourself based on the achievements that live outside of you, right? Where you have all of these things, and you can have all this abundance, but it's not real abundance. They're just pentacles, right? The ways in which you have been broken down have made it so that you've had to understand that wealth begins within, and that is how you create the things that you desire on the outside. It's all about understanding how to have more internally in order to express, explain, create what it is that's on the external, to have more appreciation for the things in your life, because you are feeling it deep within yourself. So you are healed as well. That's another thing, and you know it. This moon brings about that awareness of the fact that you are healed, and you've come a very long way, and you will not tolerate the things that you tolerated in the past. And again, the kind of sharp horns that say, I will not do this again. And the being awareness of why you dealt with certain things, or why you felt like you were robbed in certain areas. The power struggles, other people knowing your worth, but you not knowing it, and so them being able to take advantage of you because of it. So these things all come into the awareness, but they're there to help you understand your value so that it's not up for debate anymore, so you are not questioning it. So yeah, so that's what I have for you in terms of the astrology. We're going to get into the reading now. Okay. All right, so Capricorn. We're looking at the Taurus new moon, and the strongest energy here, I would say, for your subject is the Ten of Cups. And that's sitting beside the Six of Cups, along with the Seven of Swords. It's clarified by the sword and the rose, the hammer, and Cupid's arrow. In your shadow, we've got Three of Swords in reverse, along with the Seven of Cups. All of this is quite interesting. So we're looking at what does it mean to have happiness, right? This feeling of happiness, which is no surprise because the Taurus new moon is one that is, supposedly very blissful, right? Because we've got the fifth house energy and all this Taurus activation and what makes you happy and what makes you feel good. So that is the subject, and this is along with the Six of Cups, but we've got the Seven of Swords. I can't help but feel, and it's deep within the bottom of my chest, that this is about the past betrayal. I say that plural, so past betrayals, right? Because depending on where you guys are sitting in this spectrum, this energy could have been single or it could have been multiple, right? Here you are in your own happiness and this feeling this blissful energy, but these past betrayals are sitting here kind of impacting where it is that you are. We see receive and listening for the truth, releasing allegiances. And so we go back into the same dynamic of, okay, you're in this blissful space, receiving this happiness. What is real versus what isn't real? What is true versus what is not true? And again, the past, right? The ways in which the past have deceived you and hurt you, and the way it's impacting your permanent experience. It's interesting because in your present moment, you're living in this Ten of Cups energy. The Ten of Cups energy is what sits with you in terms of where it is that you are. But then we have these past betrayals, right? And it's almost like this energy takes on two different perspectives, because it's like it's lightening this load of the Ten of Pentacles, like it's Ten of Cups energy, like it's adding to this lightness and this freshness and this brightness. But at the same time, it's also the brink, or I guess the bearer of the shadow of the deceptions of the past. You have a lot of clarity tied to this. We're looking at listening from the truth, or listening for the truth along with the sword and the rose. There's a lot of awareness that you have about things that have taken place in your past. And again, it's because of the bliss that you feel right now. That's the thing about happiness. And I kind of mentioned that in the astrological reading. It's almost like the more that the sun comes out, the more you realize what the darker days were actually about. And that's where these two things are like going back and forth with one another, right? Like pulling you back and forth, like an awareness, a deep awareness, this receiving going on with this Ten of Cups energy and this Six of Cups. It's like it's so happy and it feels so good, and it's, it's so blissful, and the permanent moment feels so nice, right? But then we've got this eeriness of before, disconnecting, because you disconnecting in a way that is painfully disconnecting because of the deceptions and the awareness of what has actually gone on. Repeatedly as well, when we're looking at this hammer energy, what has repeatedly gone on, patterns that you've experienced a multitude of times tied to the people and things that you've had in your life that were actually working against you when you did not know your value, when you did not know your worth. But we've got have faith, love is coming in, Cupid's arrow. So we jump back to that Ten of Cups. It's interesting. And in your shadow, we've got the Three of Swords in reverse. You're afraid that you can't pull these swords out of your heart. Seven of Cups also in your shadow, and these things are deep on your mind. It's almost like this elusive energy. What I like about the Seven of Cups with my shadow cards is it shows up with the snake of knowledge, right? Of awareness, but also maliciousness and manipulation and deception. You're afraid you cannot take these swords out of your heart, and it has you in this space of this elusive, deceptive, self-deceptive as well kind of energy, like it's on your mind. And it's clear that whatever it is that has gone on in your past when you did not know your worth and people were able to take advantage of you was heavy. It was dark and it was deep. Especially because you guys always have, I mentioned this in the user video, you always have so much going for you. And the worst thing that can happen to Capricorn placements is when you don't know your worth, because everyone else does. Everyone else does. And that's why when I made that video, I emphasized it, because why you guys get used so much. People can enter your life strictly to use you, simply because you have so much going for you, even when you don't see it. But that's what's so scary about being in the 10th house or having Capricorn energy, because it gives you this innate kind of greatness, right? Your destiny is already imprinted in you, whether you want it to be there or not, whether you're prepared for it or not, it's just there, right? So before you are even aware of yourself, others are aware of you. And oftentimes it's the weakest people that take you guys for a ride. And that's a part of what makes it so painful, because only the weak need to take down the strong, right? Only the broken steal. Someone who is rich and abundant within themselves is not going to take anything from anyone who has abundance of their own. You already have your own. You don't need to take anything from anyone else. But it's those who are broken. Those who are broke as well. Those who don't have any. The have-nots want what the haves have, right? And so and they take everything. They want everything out of this safe. They want you to have nothing. And it's almost as if when people play people politics with you guys, when people play with you guys in terms of this using energy, they don't want you to succeed outside of what they've done to you. That happens a lot with Capricorn energy, because you guys have this thing about you that seems like even if someone empties your safe, you'll be able to generate again. Even if something was to take you down, you'll be able to, because you guys have, again, this innate greatness, right? It's a natural abundance that you guys have. So because you have that natural abundance sitting in Capricorn energy, people tend to feel like they need to completely destroy you, completely, in order to stop you. Whereas other people, they say, if I take this from this person, they'll stop, or they don't mind as much if that person has to go on a different path or take a different road, because they don't feel as triggered by the idea of this person being able to succeed without them. Versus what happens with Capricorn energy, you guys attract some of the worst types of people. Seriously, deeply, often disturbed people as well, because of that double energy, and they want everything from you. I often equate it to like wanting your blood, and that happens with you guys a lot. And when you don't know your worth, you're magnets for it. And many of you can be in full-blown relationships with people that don't feel a thing for you. They literally just look at you like what they can gain from you, what they can get from you. And the things they do to you are horrible. They are. They can be terrible and very unforgiving, right? And a lot of it is because, again, there's something about you that scares a thief, because it's that feeling of, if I take from this person, they'll be able to get back up. I need to make sure that they're incapable of moving again. And also it's the ego, right? Because you guys have the devil energy. You feed power in people, because power is something that you naturally have. And so power is something that you give off. So people who want something from you, they want your power. That's the number one thing that they want, whether they're taking love from you, whether they're taking money from you, whether they're taking status from you. It's power that they want. And so you innately being around an individual is increasing their power so much that, well, they become power hungry, right? And if you're the source of the one thing that they desperately need, that prior to you they never have, well, then they need to get rid of the source, right? And these are a lot of the karmic things that you guys are moving past, this feeling of deception, this stealing energy, to be stolen from, to be deceived, to be betrayed. In whichever ways that has happened, and you have to leave these things behind. You have to leave these memories behind, leave these people behind. And you're aware of the truth now. You're having, like, your ears are wide open to the truth, because your eyes are open to who you are now. So as you increase, again, we got this 10 of Cups energy, the happier you get, the more bliss that you feel, right? The more bliss that you're letting in, the more nourished your soul is getting, the more you're able to actually see what actually happened in your past and what got you to where it is that you are. And the betrayals that you've experienced, and it's rough. That clarity is a hard thing to be aware of right now. But this is not a negative omen. You're afraid of it being one. You're afraid that you can't take these swords out of your heart. You're afraid that you'll always be in this dissolution space. But have faith, love is coming. There's major forward movement in this happiness. There's more of this to be had. You're receiving it now. It's about you receiving it. That's why, although Mars is in Aries, it's not about you doing too much right now. It's all about the Empress energy for you. It's all about receiving for you, allowing the pleasures, allowing the beauties, allowing the good things, letting people give to you. Whatever's going on in terms of the pleasure sector for the next 2 weeks, let in as much bliss and as much joy as you possibly can, because this heaviness, this darkness that you're letting go of is rough. Okay, it's thick. So let's get into your healing points here. This is a fire energy for me, okay? Let your true self be seen. That's really, really big for you guys, because again, what you experienced in your past was not necessarily being able to truly bask in your own energy versus now. Search for the deeper spiritual purpose and opportunity for healing. Yep, opportunity for healing beneath the conflict and suffering. Opportunity for healing beneath the conflict and suffering. If you have been in pain, this oracle brings about a message of a joyful breakthrough. Your soul is growing stronger, more able to have faith and wisdom than in judgment or doubt, right? As you listen for the reality, as you listen for the truth of not only who you are, but not only what happened, but also who you are, basically. Commit to your spiritual path and know you're making progress, even if it seems difficult for a time, right? This fear that you can't get this out. Know that any such difficulty is a part of your healing and that you will successfully make it through it. You have to trust yourself, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, to get betrayal is a hard thing. That Seven of Swords energy is a hard thing to move through. It can leave you stuck. It can suck the joy out of a lot of things. So this is an earth card, so we've got fire in the top, right? Fire coming to you and telling you that it's okay, and you have to burst out, right? Like this rainbow. Allow yourself to experience as much joy and bliss and spotlight and attention and bask in your energy and bask in love and make these new memories, right? Because that's a part of what's going to heal this energy. That fire is going to burn out the past, but it's rooted here, or it's accompanied here with the root going on with the earth, right? So this is where your spirit needs to be, and this is where the ground needs to be. Cultivating confidence. Wow, that's powerful. So cultivate confidence in yourself. You have the inner spiritual power to deal wisely and effectively with any situation, this situation. Don't allow anyone to take advantage of, don't allow anyone to take advantage of your kind nature. Yeah, we go back to, again, this space of deception, the things that have taken place in your past, right? Reflect upon what actions feel best for you to take and follow through with decisiveness. Do not allow negativity to get a grip on your life. Positive energy and outcomes are indicated. So we go back into this space of, again, the negative things that are moving through you, the ways in which, because this is a lot. This is a lot. Whether, having to move through this understanding that you have been Seven of Swords is rough. It can make you feel very negative. It can make you feel very insecure. It can make you feel wounded. It can put you in a space of this permanent Three of Swords, afraid that you're not going to get out of it. But you can, right? Through your confidence, through your resolve, through amplifying this Ten of Cups energy, the more bliss, the more joy, the more pleasure that you let in, the more you bask in this love energy that you're receiving from others, the confidence that you've cultivated in yourself, the expansiveness that you've cultivated in yourself. Receive goodness, receive good things. This is how you disconnect from the people and situations of the past. That's how you beat the past. At the bottom of the deck of the Tower, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. That's extremely powerful because you are the Queen of Pentacles. The Capricorn is the archetypal Queen of Pentacles energy. People think it's archetypally the King of Pentacles, but it's actually not. It's archetypally the Queen of Pentacles. Because Capricorn being the SeaGoat, right? The misconception is that Capricorn exudes masculinity, and it does not. Capricorn is a feminine sign, right? Saturn is a feminine energy, which is a part of the reason why Aquarius is the water bearer, right? Because Aquarius is a masculine energy, being an air sign, but water is feminine, and the water bearer finds itself in the water because of Saturn energy, because of the feminine, right? So when we look at the Queen of Pentacles in the Capricorn energy, why is it archetypally Capricorn? Is because it knows how to self-nurture. It knows how to have abundance and financial prosperity, but it comes from the space of self-worth. The internal nurture, the internal dynamic with oneself. This is all about self-worth, dignity, integrity, self-love. That's really important. Very, very, very important to have and to know. And sitting at the bottom of the deck. You know your worth now. You know your value now. And that changes things. At the bottom of the shadow deck, we had Ia Cutlass, which is the Queen of Swords, right? And again, it goes back into this space of I think you're afraid of your own bitterness, to be honest with you. Bitterness would make sense when you're looking at the Three of Swords, but you have nothing to fear here. Just take it step by step. The more beauty you let in, the better you'll feel. At the bottom of the Clarity deck, we've got passion, insane chemistry, liking one another. Again, we go back to the space of there are people and things around you that are showing you love. That are showing you love, beauty, and connection. You have to let that burst through your chest in order to let these things not take hold on you. At the bottom of the Advice deck, oh, again, this came out for the love reading. It's free from judgment, free to love. So separating from the judgment of the self, loving yourself, not judging yourself for the spaces that you've been in or the things that have happened. Free yourself from the things that other people have done to you. And understand that nobody steals anything that someone does not have. So regardless of whatever deception, when people deceive you, you know, it leaves you feeling like you're less than them. That's kind of the point. That's why they do it. So that you feel, so you're sitting in the misery that they were sitting in. So that you're feeling in the despondence and the destitution that they were sitting in. That's why they do it. Especially to you guys. People want to swap destinies with you often. And so the biggest thing to understand is no one takes anything from anyone that they don't see that has value. It's your value. That's why you've been in the situations you've been in, not anything else. It's because you have a high sense of value, whether you could see it or not. And at the bottom, the healing point deck is the Pearl of Sharo. And this is all about dark now submitting to the light. What was dark is now going to submit itself to the light, whether it wants to or not. These people don't have any power over you anymore. These situations don't have any power over you. And this moon brings a renewal in that energy. But like we mentioned in the astrology, and it shows here, it's like all of this great, beautiful, wonderful, again, what was dark now submitting to the light and receiving and love and all these things. But again, it's making you aware of when it wasn't like that. Of the pain and the suffering, right? So it's a balance, right? And through that balance, the other side will be received, right? So it's step by step on this healing journey, so that you can end up okay on the other side. Sorry for the noise. But okay. All right, so Capricorn, that was your reading. I love you. Ciao.